right? Mix things up. So now we need to move on to the last portion. Do an optimization of your profile. So Instagram strategists, we've got your why, we've got who you're going to sell to. We're at the point of understanding that we're brainstorming. We've got through the pillars. Now let's talk about the first impression. This is the first thing people are going to see. It's your Instagram profile. All right. So you need to make sure you have a clickable profile. That means your username should be short, memorable, and easy to spell. Your profile picture should be clear, nothing goofy at all. Okay. And then your bio should state who you are, what you do, and why somebody should follow.
Welcome to the Social Mojo Podcast, the place where entrepreneurs and creatives come to discover the secrets behind building a powerful, engaging brand without spending a fortune. Let's meet the host, Mr. Anthony Porter, your guide on this journey to harness the power of organic social media. In each episode, we dive deep into the strategies that work, sharing insights, actionable tips, and success stories from experts and trailblazers who've done it all. From planning your content with precision, growing your audience authentically, to monetizing your passion effectively, we've got you covered. So, whether you're just starting out or looking to elevate your social media game, stay tuned. Because here at the Social Mojo...
You understand that building an ironclad presence on social media, especially Instagram, is the budding foundation and determines how you and your community connect. Do you understand that building that foundation is one of the key components? Having a foundation, period, is one of the key components of controlling what goes on throughout your business, throughout your influence strategies, throughout everything that you do on social media. Well, knowing that is one of the major ingredients to this recipe, to this full-course meal. The foundation is what we stand on. So with the foundation being what we stand on, it's time to get it. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Social Mojo Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. Today, we are going to embark upon building the foundation. We are going to put all of the ingredients into a pot. We are going to build from the ground up. And by building from the ground up, that means we are going to control the narrative. We're going to take control over everything that needs to be taken control. Because guess what? Now? The foundation is key. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about foundational frameworks. We're going to the ground from ground zero. Let's face it, Instagram can be a jungle. We know this. We know that somewhere out there, there is something that's keeping us from doing what we love to do. There are amazing accounts out there. I'm going to be influencers. I follow a few of them. I follow a lot of my so-called mentors, people who have guided me to the point that I'm at. But I couldn't get there without the foundation. I couldn't get there without being able to put my foot in the ground and stand on solid ground. See, sometimes you feel like you swimming in quicksand. You drowning because we don't have a foundation. And so with those amazing accounts with massive followers, they have killer content. You might feel like you have killer content, but we're going to have to figure that out. Or should I say, you're going to have to figure that out. See, it's not always about what you think. See, number one, we fall short at that because we're not here for just us. We're here to serve an entirely different audience, right? So you might have that question. I know I had that question. Where do you begin? Fret no more. See, today's episode of this podcast, we guide you through that. We're going to look directly at the absolute essentials to building a rock solid Instagram strategy from the ground up. Look at it like building a house. Look at it like cooking a meal. You wouldn't just start throwing bricks in. You just wouldn't start adding meat, pepper, and all of the ingredients. You have to lay down a strong foundation. You have to lay down a base. That's the first thing you do. You lay down a base. You lay down a strong foundation, something you can stand firmly on. On Instagram, your foundation is your strategy. Your Instagram strategy is what makes or breaks your whole Instagram account. It ultimately helps you achieve, if done correctly, every goal that you have set out to do, every goal that you have set out to reach, every goal that you have set out to conquer. Now, for those who are complete beginners, we got you. For those who are seasoned veterans and feel like you need to reset, we got you. See, those who are new, we're going to help you understand where to go from. Those who are seasoned veterans, we're going to exit your existing strategy, rebuild it to take you to the next level. Because some people, we started just by starting an account, but we never took into accountability of what it took for us to get to a certain point. So we focus on the shiny objects and the imposter syndrome. We never understood the foundation. So as we unpack all of these actionable tips and insights in this episode, we want you to, hey, grab your pen and pad, get you a sip of water. If you got to have a snack, grab that too. Feel comfortable, do what you got to do, and let's get started, all right? Okay, so the first step in building a very, very, very strong foundation, building an empire that is crystal clear, building something you can feel good about. The very first building block, the very first stepping stone is this. You have to understand your why. Now, as a kid, or maybe as a teenager, or maybe as a young adult, I know you heard of the who, what, when, where, and why. The five W's. Think about it, 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why. We're going to tackle the main one. Why? Why are you on Instagram in the first place? See, any other time, the question is why should someone follow you? We're building a foundation. So you have to ask yourself, why are you on Instagram in the first place? Why are you using this platform to begin with? Ask yourself that question. Matter of fact, write that down so you can go back and revisit that. Why are you on Instagram in the first place? Are you a small business owner? Are you an influencer? See, as a small business owner, are you trying to gain sales, generate leads? Or maybe you're a creator trying to get your passionate works out, like artwork. Some create digital platforms, digital artwork, photography. Or maybe you're a musician wanting to connect with your fans. No matter what you are, no matter what industry you're in, you need to be asking your why. Why? Why are you on Instagram? Why are you on social media? But because we're going to focus on Instagram, ask yourself that. Now, having a clear understanding of your why is critical because it informs every decision you make on this platform. So you can't just start a page and turn around and flip the page and be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You don't have a sense of direction. So by not having a sense of direction, you're all over the place. You are willy-nilly. So again, it's critical. It's so critical that it's crucial. Are you focusing on your brand awareness? Because these are some of the questions. Let me back up. Some of the questions that may be asked or you may need to ask yourself is, are you focusing on your brand awareness? Because as a small business owner, a creator, an influencer, a musician, a hairstylist, a plumber, a construction company operator, owner, real estate agent, your brand is your everything. And some people overlook that. Some people say, oh, it doesn't matter. It matters. So are you focusing on your brand awareness? That's a question they're going to ask you. Maybe you want to build a community or generate leads. That's another one. So once you understand what your why is, you can tailor all the content to target your right people, your right audience, and measure your success based off the right metrics. See, for us, or for me, with this podcast is to help small business owners, creators, influencers to start, grow, and scale their businesses organically, fast, without breaking the bank with paid ads. See, we're not trying to get you off track because, see, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. But you have to understand this. I know my why. I know why I'm on Instagram. I know why I started my podcast, and I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to help others get to a point where you're comfortable in life and possibly be able to scale your business to 6 or 7 figures. At the time of this recording, we're in the process here at the Social Mojo Podcast, which is a DBA of Elite Marketing Mojo. That's exactly what we're doing. We are positioning ourselves with not only the podcast, but the marketing agency to be able to fulfill a ton of everything that needs to be fulfilled. See, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people just don't understand. You have to, in order for you to be successful, you focus on one, then you add another one, and adding another one, you add another stream of income. But at the same time, I'm trying to serve. I'm trying to help folk. Because there's a whole generation that just does not understand how to position themselves in order to generate a sustainable income with their business. Now, let's pause for a second. Hit pause right there. Just hit pause. That's the word, pause. And take a moment and really think about why you are on Instagram. So if you haven't figured out by now, we do actionable tasks over here. So wherever you at, wherever you're listening at, pause. If you're in the car, I'm not telling you to stop in the middle of the highway. I don't want nobody to get pulled over and say, well, Anthony from the Social Mojo Podcast told me to do it. No. What I'm saying is mentally pause and figure out your why. Now, if you're somewhere where you can write it down, write it down. If you can dictate it, transcribe it into your notes on your phone, do that. Or sit there in your car and for about 5 complete times, back to back, repeat after that, repeat why you are on Instagram. See, there are many reasons why someone might be on Instagram, but some of the most common goals and key, and then we're going to give you some of these actionable, these breakdowns, okay? Some of the common goals include this: increasing brand awareness and building a recognition of your business. Driving sales and traffic to your website or online store, building a loyal community around your brand or interest, establish yourself as an expert in the field, engaging with potential customers and collaborators. Now, here's what you got to do. Once you've identified your why, wrote it down, stash it somewhere, hold on to it. Keep it in front of you, or keep it in the forefront of your mind. Keep it right here in this front lobe, right there in the front, right hand side. Keep it right there. Because as we move forward, this helps you to come back to some of the things that's going to generate, especially segment 2. This is your guiding light to Instagram, man. Believe it or not, this is your guiding light. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back to the next segment, we are going to jump on and talk about knowing your audience. All right, we back. We are back. Segment number 2. Got to talk about it. Knowing your audience. Knowing your audience. So knowing your audience, Instagram strategies is making it, there are ways that makes things easier these days. All right. But you got to know your audience, your strategist, a person, account manager, you, your child, your wife, your significant other, whoever's helping you out. Know your audience. So strategies are in the making, right? Now you got your why written down. Let's talk about another critical element, crucial element, knowing the audience, because this thing right here, you just cannot create content that resonates if you don't know who you are creating or resonating with. Do you understand that? You can't make content if you don't know who you're making content for. You see, you can't be in the niche of medical and you out here making content for a construction worker. You can, but you can't, Because see, in this day and age, in order for you to be successful, you need to niche it down. You need to get to the point. You need to understand this. All right, understand this. Focus on one before you move to the other. So once you focus on one, then you move to the other. See, once you master the first one, then you take on the second one. It's easier for you to focus on one, generate 2 or 3 of those good clients, or focus on one and create content to help those clients or help those creators or help yourself before you can move on to the next one, right? So think about it. You wouldn't write a love letter to your grandmother using the terms from the TikTok trend, would you? No, you wouldn't do that. No, it's the answer to that question. I'm going to answer for you. No. So now you need to tailor your message to her interests and her communication styles. On Instagram, it's the same concept. Knowing your audience, okay? Knowing your audience means that understanding the demographics, the interests, and online behavior is who you're trying to reach. You have to know what they're passionate about, and then you also need to know exactly where else do they hang online. Here are ways to get to know your audience better. Your demographics, you need to know the age, gender, location, their income level. Understanding these basics gives you a starting point. Then you need to know the interests. What are they curious about? What kind of content do they already engage with on Instagram? Then you need to do some social listening tools, like take advantage of free tools like Twitter. Search Brand24 to see what people are saying about your brand or your industry. So basically, if you're in an industry of healthcare, you need to search to see what people are saying about it. And then do a competitor analysis. Check out your competitors on Instagram. Who are they following? And what kind of content they're posting? What seems to resonate to your audience? That's what you got to do. You got to keep it simple, man. You got to keep this thing simple. So now you need to do this. All right. We built the foundation. Now we're laying down a little more. All right. This is a part of a good strategy. I hope you're writing this stuff down. And I hope you better be writing this stuff down. Engaging with your active listeners. It means you need to communicate. We're going to keep it in layman's terms. Communicate. So another quick pause. If you haven't grabbed the pen or you joined us late, excuse me, your notepad is not open on your app. Let's create a profile of an Instagram follower. Give them a name, age, occupation, interest, and even describe them or describe their online behavior. So basically, you're building an avatar. You're building your ideal customer. See, for everything that you're about to embark on, if you're an online business or you're a business person, every time you go and make a sale, you need to do this. Can you see me? I'm dead serious about that. Every time you make a sale, you need to do this. You need to have a profile built out. For instance, let's say for me, let's say my why is to promote my Instagram course, something that I'm working on to help you build the perfect Instagram profile, the perfect Instagram page, the perfect Instagram pillar for your business, right? So here it is. My ideal follower might be a girl named Shaquita. She's 28 years old. She's a marketing professional who loves to explore new cultures and capture stunning photos while sitting outside on her break. She uses her phone, which is possibly an iPhone 15. She follows content creators like myself, Russell Brunson, Nadine Woodall, David Sands, Nehemiah Davis. She listens to Beyonce. She also listens to Taylor Swift. She's not an introvert, but she doesn't really socialize with many folk, but she enjoys everything that she does. But she wants to expand her business, right? So understanding her interests in her online behavior, I have created content that speaks directly to her. That is my goal. You see what I'm saying? I've spoken. I've written it down. So now when I go to create this content, I'm talking directly to my avatar. So now it's your turn. We're going to take a break. You got a few minutes. Here's what I suggest you do. Download the episodes. Subscribe to the podcast. Download the episodes. Because see, with these actionable tips, you can pause the podcast. You can still pause it, but you can have this in your directory, your archives, to go back and have it. So download, pause, fill out your ideal follower, your ideal customer, your avatar, and we will be able to finish up. All right. So we are back. I know you're getting excited. We're getting close to the end. So listen, we've identified our why and gotten to our ideal audience. You know who it is. Now let's talk about crafting the content that will capture her attention or whoever's attention your ideal customer is and keep them coming back for more. There are concepts and content pillars that you need to know about. Think of them as the central themes that will guide your Instagram content creation. They are the categories your content will fall under. Pillars, 3 of them, we're going to fall up under, all right? So most people have their categories. They understand their why. Now we're building the content. We know who we're selling to. So now let's think about this. We're going to use the travel industry. Let's say you have someone named Tasha, and she's a travel agent. So here's her content pillars. This is what you need to do for Tasha. All right. She's a travel agent, right? So for Tasha, you need to designate spotlights. That means the stuff that she's creating stunning visuals and informative captions, showcasing breathtaking locations. Again, she's a traveler. She's a travel agent. So this is what she's doing. She's putting together her portfolio in order to present it to potential customers. All right. Then she comes up with another pillar. She got some travel tips and hacks. She gives particular advice on everything from packing light to finding a budget-friendly flight. And then she gives you a behind-the-scenes adventure, sharing personal travel experiences and connecting with more people just like her, which is right now Tasha. So I gave you my avatar because of who I was focusing on. I'm giving you their avatar. The avatar you should. This is an example of Tasha, and Tasha's a travel agent. So when you're brainstorming tips that you need to do, you need to focus on your expectations, align them with your why, consider your audience, and make sure that you understand that variety is the key. All right, mix things up. So now we need to move on to the last portion. So we're not going to really just jump off and go to another segment. We're going to keep this thing going because then you need to do an optimization of your profile. So Instagram strategists, we've got your why, we've got who you're going to sell to. We're at the point of understanding that we're brainstorming. We've got through the pillars. Now let's talk about the first impression. This is the first thing people are going to see. It's an Instagram profile. All right. So you need to make sure you have a clickable profile. That means your username should be short, memorable, and easy to spell. Your profile picture should be clear, nothing goofy at all. Okay. And then your bio should state who you are, what you do, and why somebody should follow. Doesn't get no simpler than that, man. And when you're doing things, you need to make sure that you have some story highlights. If you follow me on Instagram, those story highlights are definitely in the works. All right. We have been doing a deep dive over at the Social Mojo PC on Instagram. That's the handle. We have started to change up a lot of things. So if you go on there, you will see we're not deleting no content, but you will see how things are starting to change. The brand is starting to change. Our visual background is starting to change. So you have to understand. Follow us at the Social Mojo PC, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. So you know, you have to make sure that all of these are impeccable. All of these are lined up with your why you on Instagram. And trust me, if you're having trouble with that, follow us over at the Social Mojo PC. Okay. Follow us and then hit us up and we can talk about it because that's part of what the courses we're making. We want you to understand we're here to help. We're not here to break the bank. We're starting now, so we got to make sure we got budget situated. All right. And that way you sit there and people will understand who you are, what you do, and why you're on Instagram. So make sure your name is clear and easy to remember. So these are some of the actionable tips for the listeners to understand. Make sure your name is clear, easy to understand. Your profile picture is very clear. We don't need no pictures of Popeye. We don't need no pictures of the Game of Thrones and you trying to sell a book about your life. No, doesn't work that way. If it's not your brand, it should be you. If it's not your logo, it should be a picture of you. And then your bio, again, it should be energetic, informative. It should tell you who you are, what you do, and why people should follow you. And then it should have in your bio a link in bio to a website, to a actionable product, one, not two, one. Make it one. All right. So, with that being said, take the time out to fix everything that we talked about. And I hope you wrote this stuff down. You better have written this stuff down. Take the time out to fix everything that you need to fix because this will make or break you in your business. I have gone through it. This is what I'm doing in my city. I've gone through it. I've looked at some of the business and I've looked at some of the business out there's profiles are immaculate. But there's some of them's they don't post very often. They ain't got many followers. See, sometimes your business could be your profile could, in this day and age, could be the make or break. It could be the reason you are in business for 20 years, or it could be the reason why you are closed in 2 months. All right. So we've recapped. Let's recap. We've talked about the importance of having a clear why for being on Instagram. We emphasize the need to understand your target audience and how crafting content pillars can guide your content creation. And finally, we discuss optimizing your profile to make a strong first impression. You got to understand your bio, your Instagram page, as soon as somebody finds you, that's the first thing they're going to see. They don't want to see nobody standing there with 2 AKs. They don't want to see nobody standing there smoking a cigarette. That's not your profile. Have a little smile, have a little serious look. It doesn't make a difference. You try to make sure that people know exactly who you are, what you do, and why they should follow you. All right. So remember, building a social Instagram presence. Instagram is the new way. Remember, it used to be just about pictures. Now, it still is, but now it's about elevating your presence online. People know who you are. People know where they can find you. You know where you can find people. And then you're moving forward. So, with that being said, take the time out, review your why, refine your ideal customer, which is your avatar, finalize your content pillars, and optimize your profile. All right. So the show notes will be in the bottom, down in the description, so you can go back, take a look at things. And we might have some helpful resources that include maybe some worksheets that can help you out. Don't know yet. We'll see here in a little bit, possibly, because you're going to probably need them. And it'll help you out. It'll really help you out. You know, we want to give you as much value as we possibly can. So, with that being said, thank you again for stopping by today, joining us on this journey for this episode, the foundational frameworks. We at the Gram from Ground Zero. All right, I hope you found this information helpful. I hope you found the insights. I hope you do these things to help you take your stuff to the next level. All right, subscribe to the podcast for more Instagram strategies, tips, and tricks. Feel free to connect with us Social Mojo PC. Our email if you got questions, comments, or you even got a suggestion that you want to hear about. Let us dive deep into it. We'll find the answer. We'll put it. Our email will be in the bottom in the description. And we out of here. I love talking to y'all. We out of here. Peace.